Hello, friends. Patrick here. I am at the THEbTEAM World News Desk. It is the first week of March 2021. I've had a haircut, if you can believe it, and we are still knee-deep in this historic real estate market here in Niagara, where we have sales demand up here and new listing inventory somewhere down here, which is creating escalating prices, competitive offers, and general market frustration for some, and absolutely loving it for others. In talking with people, agents in other markets across the province, we're not the only one. It's really a trend that's happening, almost no matter where you go, where that same market imbalance is going on. And so I thought we'd dig into a little bit here today. In the past, I've done reports on all of Niagara, and then we've done some specific. Today, we're going to look at St. Catharines specifically. It's responsible for about 27% of annual sales for Niagara. So it's a good litmus test of what's going on, on a larger scale. But whether you live in St. Catharines or Niagara Falls, Welland, Fort Erie, Thorold, the same market dynamics and trends are happening across the region. And that is, again, aggressive sales demand and pretty lackluster or sort of middle of the road new listing inventory. So we're seeing those multiple offer situations, and you don't need to hear anymore. You got that scoop. So we're going to get into it here with some general info and data I think it's really important for you to know. And let's go. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was supply and demand right out of high school economics class, right? When you have supply up here and demand down here, you have prices dropping. And when you have the inverse, when you have demand up here and supply down here, you have prices escalating. More people than product equals more pricing or higher prices, right? And so that's the nature of the beast here in St. Catharines. Going year to date, even going back to July, August of last year, that same trend and dynamic has happened as we've gone. So this first graph, the Niagara region, it shows you going back to 2011, January plus February. So it shows you what was going on back 2011, 2011, 12, 13, all the way up to now. And it shows you for the number of new listings and the number of sales. So you can see back in 2011, the spread. Back then, buyers had a lot of choice. There was the days on the market was 50, 60, 70 days on the market. You could, you might see 7 open houses at a house before it sells, all that good stuff. You can see it clamps down in 2016, 17, opens back up in 18, 19, and here we are in 2021, and it's clamped right back down. St. Catharines, same deal. In fact, it's worse. So in the Niagara region, year to date, we've had the 5th lowest number of new listings and the highest number of sales going back a decade. 5th and 1st. St. Catharines, when you go back a decade, year to date 2021 has had the lowest number of new listings and the highest number of sales. So again, lowest supply, highest demand that we've had going back 10 years, which has only fed the pricing dynamics that we're seeing that are going on year to date. So when you go on the computer, you go on realtor.ca, you plug in all your criteria looking for a home, and 1 or 2 results come up, which is going on right now. And that is a byproduct of weak inventory, of not enough inventory, and you've heard me say that a million times. Have a look at this graph. This shows you the number of active listings monthly basis for 2011 versus 2020. And you can see the huge difference, right? The buyer experience in 2011, how remarkably different it was. Days in the market back then were 40, 50, 60, 70 days, 2.5 months to sell a house. There were 7 open houses. You could do second showings. You could bring your Uncle Paul back to have a look. It was a completely different time. Then there's this graph, which shows you that same data, but with 2021 on there. You can see the little green line, the number of active listings, even lower than 2020. And that's a byproduct of a few things. Obviously, the new listing inventory, so how much things are resupplied, but also the days in the market. So when you look at back in 2011, days in the market were 2.5 months. 2020, closer to 25 to 30 days in the market. Here we are so far in 2021 for St. Catharines. All residential, average days in the market, 22 days. For detached only, average time on the market, 19 days. Under $1 million, 16 days. And then when you chop the data up even further, look at specific areas of the city, you're talking about 6, 7, 8 days on the market, which is outrageously low and historically record-setting days on the market. So what's been going on so far this year with new listing inventory to combat that? January year to date, January 2020 compared to January's going back a decade is off by about 25% below the 10-year norm. So you take all the previous 10 years of January 2021 was off by about 25%. February was only off by about 10%, which in my books is a victory, right? So when you look at February versus the previous 10 Februaries, February 2021 is actually fighting back a little bit. Here we are at 96 or 120 hours into March, and the March new listing inventory is actually on pace or better than March 2020. Yes, we're 4 or 5 days into the month, but we're going to take whatever we can get at this point as far as the good news side of things goes. So that's the piece with active listings in St. Catharines. So you do not need me to tell you that prices have escalated in St. Catharines. It is a serious issue. It has a lot of people that are finding themselves priced out of the market. It's a point of frustration for some. It's a point of elation for others. So it's a tough one to get your head wrapped around. So I'm just going to give you the numbers and report the news as they say. So average sale price in St. Catharines. This will show you what has really happened over the last 3, 4, 5 months. We've had that sort of double black diamond escalation right up to present day. Year to date, 2021, St. Catharines, all residential, $614,000 average sale price. The total average sale price for all of 2020 was $496,000. Remember, we hadn't had a month top 500,000 average sale price since February 2020, never in history. And here we are year to date 2021, and we have an average sale price of 614,000. So pretty remarkable numbers. That's more than double the average sale price for 2016. It was $299 back then. So by all accounts, an enormous growth in average sale price in St. Catharines. Now, let's look at different segments of the market. Detached homes, the average sale price is at $647,000. That's up 24%. Condo apartments are at $391,000, up 20% year over year. Now, condo apartments are a bit difficult because we are now seeing more new condo apartments feed that data, so it's tough to separate out. But that's as a whole for all condo apartments. Townhomes, all townhomes, average sale price $628,000. That's up 34%. Now we've got a lot of new townhomes that are getting $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 that are skewing the numbers because we also have a whole bunch of condo conversions that were 151 Linwell, 151 Parnell, 242 Lakeport, all those that are also selling really well but aren't getting obviously $700,000 or $800,000. So those quote unquote older townhomes sold an average of $438,000. That's up 27% year over year. So that's in a nutshell the pricing currently where we're at right now here, early March 2021 for St. Catharines. Lastly, sale distribution per price segment. So if you have all the sales in St. Catharines for 2021, 2020, whatever year, how many of them sold between $200,000 and $300,000, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 6, and so on and so forth. And that gives you an idea where the majority of the sales are happening, where the more active segments of the market is, and where the price demand is, right? So back in 2019, the highest price segment was $300,000 to $400,000 with 32% of all sales. So basically 1/3 of all sales in St. Catharines in 2019 happened between $300,000 and $400,000. Here in 2021 year to date, that same price segment went from 1/3 to 8.5% of all sales. So, again, as a buyer looking in that price segment, your choices went from 32% to 8.5%. The inverse of that, here in 2021, the number one price segment so far this year is $600,000 to $700,000 with 24% of all sales. When you go back to 2019, that was only 3.3% of sales. So the market for $600,000 to $700,000 back in 2019 was 3.3%. Here we are in 2021. It's sitting at 24% of all sales. So that's a wrap on St. Catharines. What's going on? Again, we have supply and demand issues that are feeding this price escalation that we're seeing on a continuous basis, with some moderate signs of hope in increasing or improving listing inventory. I think that's the summary of what we just went through and where we're at currently. We are completely empathetic to the people that are trying to get into the market. All of a sudden, that 3 to 450 range is hyper competitive, and it's very difficult. So we're not oblivious to the fact that there's people that are seeing this data and hearing this and listening to me right now that want to throw something at the screen because it's frustrating, and we totally do get that. We're trying our best to try to find places for our clients that work within their budget. And there's lots of other realtors out there trying to do the same thing. So it is difficult. But it's the reality of where we're at right now. We have a different market. The whole rules of engagement have changed, and it's just a completely different landscape for people to try to figure out. If you ever want to talk about things or figure out things or bounce questions off us, whatever the case may be, you're more than welcome to reach out anytime. That's Roddy Piper there, by the way. That's another story altogether. Here on the screen, on our website, if you go to our homepage, THEbTEAM.ca, you'll see a Market Insight button. You can click that. It brings you to a page that gets uploaded and updated all the time with the latest in the market data on what's going on from St. Catharines, Niagara Lake, Grimsby, Beamsville, all the way down to Fort Erie, Port Colborne, Fonthill, Welland, Thorold, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, if you want to get a quick take on what's going on in the market for as far as new listings go, sales inventory, pricing, all that sort of stuff, it is all there for you anytime. But again, if you want to reach out anytime, please do. We're happy to chat. Hopefully this helped shed some light on what's going on. We will continue to update you with the latest scoop as we go. Otherwise, we hope you're doing okay, and we look forward to hearing from you anytime. Okay, thanks for your time, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, cheers. Thanks. Bye.